Hey beautiful people, Healing Fairy here with your weekly energy update. This week we're tuning into the flowers for some guidance and insight, and our crystal for this week is citrine. Ooh. So our first energetic theme that came up this week for July 14th to 20th is ignited passions. So it's not necessarily that this coming week you'll have to dive into things that you're passionate about. It's more so that things you're passionate about are going to surface for you. And passion can come up in a number of ways. I mean, you know, we often think passion, we think sexual energy, you know, we think very loud and kind of explosive emotions. So it can show up in a number of ways. For some of you guys, it's going to be anger. It's definitely going to be like built up emotion that you've been trying to work through and trying to deal with, and this week it just erupts. It just really comes to the surface. So be kind to yourself. There's another group of you guys is going to show up in a more, not as aggressive, I'll say. It's more what you're passionate about, you know, and it's something that maybe you're talking to a friend about and it just comes out like word vomit. But you know, those things that we're passionate about, we can talk hours about it, you know, like, because it lights us up. It creates a fire in our belly, and not just that, it usually lights up your heart center as well. So, you know, when you feel into that and it comes to the surface and you can talk about it, or you can express yourself, or you're living it, you can really feel it, you know, and the emotions usually that arise are quite strong. So just be mindful of that, you know, when we know that we've got some intense emotions probably coming to the surface, and maybe even anger, things that have been ready to come out for a while are finally going to kind of just be said. You can kind of prepare yourself, you know, and you can maybe even work through your anger in a positive light before it does erupt, making sure that you're not hurting anybody in the process. It's almost like writing down everything you want to say, and maybe from there having that conversation with the person. So you're kind of setting yourself up so nobody's getting hurt in the process, but for sure something is going to come out. Okay, our theme number 2, balance friendships. Your friendships work best when they're equal sharing of giving and receiving. This is something I've been noticing, especially this summer, come up as a theme. But for this week, it's even going to come more into the light. And it's you really looking at, like, more than just friendships. It's also looking at the relationships you have in your life. You know, even if they're your sister, even if they're your brother, is there an equal share here? Like, are you always giving, and are they always taking? And sometimes it's the opposite. Maybe you're always asking favors and never returning any of them. So something is definitely coming up. I'd say this is more about 40% of you guys. Really, like, something triggering happening this week with friendships and relationships that really gives you an eye-opening moment. For the other half of you guys, it's more just being aware of it. And I also see, I don't know, like, I see a lot of you guys as a collective just hanging out with friends. Like, it is definitely a social week, whether, you know, you're hanging out with coworkers or friends that are close to you. This is good, and make sure that you're doing it. You know, if you feel isolated, you feel bored, you feel like you want to get out there and have some fun, connect with some friends. Okay, theme number 3, share the message of love. Rivers of love flow within you, and others may benefit from this healing energy. Be mindful of each word that passes your lips. This is huge. A lot of you guys that obviously watch my readings and videos are obviously, you're empaths, you're intuitive, you're definitely connected to, you know, the spiritual worlds, or your spiritual self, your spiritual journey. You know, you don't have to see spirits. So there's a lot of you guys that without your awareness, you help people, you heal people. And sometimes it's even what you say, or it's how you say it, or it's like telling somebody exactly what they needed to hear in that moment. And sometimes, I will say, it can look nice or it could look not so nice. Sometimes a person needs something to trigger them to embark on a more healing journey. So, you know, for those people out there looking at you who trigger others and you're uncomfortable with yourself, it's part of your design, and it's actually one of your greatest gifts. So embrace it. But just be mindful of how you're acting this week, what you're saying. Just make sure it's coming from a good place. And I know we all have bad days. I get that. But try to put that shit aside. If you're dealing with just random people, right? They don't know what you're going through. They haven't done anything to you. So be kind. It's a big one. You're gonna find that if you, like, that's the energy you're putting out, the way you're living your life, you're gonna attract it back to you. So okay, and our last theme for this week, we got simplify your life. A lot of people are doing this. So you had so much going on that you're spread too thin. This has to change now so your vitality can recharge. So 2 things. 1, a lot of people are becoming less materialistic. That is something with New Earth, as we're moving from a 3D frequency, 4D, 5D. We have less attachment to things because they show up spontaneously, magically, miraculously when we need them. Instead of saying, I'm going to hold on to this for, you know, that one time I'm going to need it. When you're going to need it, it's going to show up for you. It's going to be like, oh, it's on the shelf. That actually happened to me the other day. I'm like, I need these. I couldn't find them. And then all of a sudden, boop, there they are. So that's one part of it. Okay, so this week you're even, you know, you're purging, you're going through the closets, you're getting rid of more stuff. The other message of that is you've spread yourself out too far. And I'm hearing the message, you're a people pleaser. So whoever really relates to that, like, stop. And I know it's easier said than done, you can't just stop. But you're hurting yourself, okay? And that's something I want you to just be mindful of, is when we try to feed everybody's agenda and be the awesome person, everybody's so thankful for us, and we haven't taken care of ourselves first, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna be dead for the count for the next 2 weeks. Why? Why are you putting yourself through that? So always, like, take care of you, take care of your needs. If you're good to go and you've got plenty to give, go for it. Feel free, my friend. But make sure your needs come first, because all you have is yourself. You know, realistically, if everybody around you died or whatever, all you had was you. All you have is you. So make sure you're being mindful of your needs. And it's a huge learning curve for so many of you guys who are empaths. I get it. But it comes with time and practice and boundaries. Saying no, right? Learning to do that. Okay, so crystal is citrine. So even though, like, with all the themes that are coming up, I don't know why I was really attracted to this crystal. But citrine is really good to attract positivity, abundance, more money, more love, more happiness, more joy. It's one of those, like, it just makes me think of a laughter, high frequency crystal. So, yeah, definitely coming up with to attract positive friendships in your life. Try to bring out the positive in your situation and try to bring more awesome positive energy to you. So, number of ways you can use this. It obviously has even more properties than what I'm talking about, but if you're looking at it and you're like, yep, I need one of those. Go to your local crystal shop, or I also do have a store online with crystals. Just send me a DM or comment down below and I'll tag it in the comments. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.